Entrepreneur, no manure, I'm number one.
Welcome to the Dave Elmore Podcast. I am your host, Dave Elmore, and we have a special guest. Hoping to have him on for a while. A wealth of wisdom, wealth of knowledge, best-selling author, servant leading F&I manager, president, CEO of Ascent Dealer Services as well, plus many other things, many other titles, many other accolades, Mr. Adam Marburger. Thank you for coming, brother.
My friend, I'm happy to be here. Good morning to you, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, we were kind of chatting before and talking about finance and how we can help the finance managers become better, because there's a lot of people who chase pay plans and money and titles and accolades, when I personally feel, and I can say personally because I lived through it, I think making yourself a better finance manager will bring all those things to you. It's called kind of like the law of attraction. If you want something, you can attract it to you based on hard work, dedication, and the things that make you the best version of yourself. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. First of all, the law of attraction is a universal truth. Words matter. What you speak into the universe matters. That's why it's important to be positive. And we were talking here, cream rises to the top, period. All right. We talked about being undeniable. I mean, chasing pay plans and chasing that next best thing. It's the most important thing for an F&I professional is to focus on the controllables and become undeniable in our craft, work on ourselves on a consistent basis. Because if we do that, it will continue to elevate. We'll be, like you said, undeniable for that next promotion or that next opportunity. So I challenge people to focus on themselves first and then focus on serving others second. Because if you don't fill your cup, you can't fill others' cups, right? Focus on yourself, your non-negotiable you, morning routines, and becoming just better. And then you will continue to elevate and elevate and elevate and elevate. It becomes an easy decision for a dealer principal to go, look at that guy or look at that gal. They're first to work every single day, constantly doing something to better themselves. It's an easy decision for someone like you and I, Dave, to give somebody a promotion because we can see with action that they deserve it, right?
Absolutely, man. You see, and everybody who's listening, you'll hear him use some of the same terminology, like routine. We talk about routine. What is your morning routine? What is your 6 Ps? Proper preparation prevents pretty poor performance. I've been hearing that since I was like 6 years old from my dad. If you're not properly prepared, how can you go amongst your day? What are the things that you think about on your drive to work? Are you preparing? I remember 100 million years ago, man, I went to a Joe Verdi workshop. And here I am, a salesperson, man. I sell a bunch of cars. You can't tell me nothing, dude. I make a bunch of money. I have to go because the owner said I had to go. So here I am driving to Chicago, man. We get to Joe Verdi. And out of all the things that I learned, number one is when somebody presents something new to you, buy in. Buy in. If you're not going to buy in, you're not going to learn anything. It's very easy to hear something from somebody and say, oh, man, I don't need that. Oh, man, I can't use that. Oh, man, that has no place here. It's very easy to do that. But buy in. Just give it a chance. So, and I'm talking to you because of personal experience. I done made these mistakes already. So the one thing I took from him, man, he gave me a cassette tape. And on the way back, that cassette tape was called Go to Work to Work. That was like the most powerful phrase that I've heard in a long time. You go to work to work. People go to work to have fun. They go to work to have camaraderie. They go to work to waste time. They go to work to do everything besides work. We go to a place, a car dealership. If you're a finance person, if you're a sales manager, you go to work to work. The thing that I notice now, man, and tell me if I'm wrong, a lot of the people that are now in the car business define work by emotions. How do I feel? I don't feel that this is an environment where I can get work done. I've never been an environment guy. I'm the guy, might as well call me Shedeur Sanders. I'm going to change the dynamic of where I am. That's how I've always worked. It's never the dealership. You can always make people better. You can always make your situation better, but you have to go to work to work. What do you think?
Well, I love it. Well, here, I agree with everything you said. And there's a reason I have, let me back up. So you said something that I think is funny. So you're rolling to Chicago. You didn't want to go, right? You were told. Right. So you didn't volunteer. You were voluntold.
That's right.
So I do a lot of group trainings with some big groups in the Northeast, and I'll have a room of 50 folks, and I'll start the training with, most of you want to be here. A lot of you volunteered, were chomping at the bits to just listen to me yap, right? But a few of you in this room were voluntold to be here. You didn't necessarily want to go, who's this guy? What am I going to learn? Is this a waste of my time? And that's where I say, here's what we got to do. If you were the one that was voluntold, kind of like, what am I doing here? I can relate to you. Because there was a day where I was just like you. And I was also barely getting by, barely fulfilled. I wasn't working on myself. I was never going to get to that next level because I didn't have humility, and pride and ego ran my life. So I challenge you, for the few of you in this room, I don't know which one it is. There's a few of you though. For whatever this is worth, go back tonight and look at yourself in the mirror and squash that ego and pride. Because if you can't do that, you won't scale and grow, and you'll be unable to help others. So I start with that, Dave, because there's always somebody that just thinks they've got it all figured out. Right. And the day that you think you've got it figured out, you are completely done. You're done, right? Now, here's an activity. I don't remember where I got this, and it was like 10, 15 years ago. But I have all of my people that I train write down on a little sticky note. There's 3 letters, IPA. And I have them stick it on their monitor or their laptop, whatever their work environment. It's got to be right in front of them. And it stands for, it's not the IPA. I do like a nice IPA in a cold glass, by the way. But it stands for income producing activity. So if you're sitting there drifting off into YouTube land, and you don't have a CIT schedule we're working on, or an active client in our office trying to serve, or helping salespeople facilitate transactions, then we should be doing something that produces revenue, income producing activity. So it just gives you that constant reminder, oh, I got some downtime. Let's read some of my contracts. Oh, I've got some downtime. Let's go talk to a technician in service. What you working on? No kidding. How long is that going to take? What's that going to cost? Hey, can I get the repair order when you're done? To have a different acumen, right? Or I can role play with a battle buddy, maybe grab a salesperson or two and share some things about your products that help serve customers and bring retention back to the dealership. So there's always something that we can be working on. And yes, I love what Mr. Joe Verdi said, go to work. But when we're sitting in our day, the car business does show up, mad customers every now and then. We got a problematic customer, right? We've got a salesperson that maybe barely got there on time, and there's a delivery scheduled and the paperwork's not ready. Like there's always something, yes. But embrace that something and know that the car business is the car business. We've got to stay structured, organized. And when we drift off in la land where we're potentially wasting time, the question we ask ourselves, is this producing revenue? Is this an income producing activity? And if it's not, stop what we're doing, because you're leaving money off your kid's table. Like if we're playing around in the little circles at the dealership, the gossip circles, you are costing your family money. And that's what I can't have that, right? That hurts my soul, right? Yeah, so I went off a tangent there. I apologize.
No, man, that's awesome, dude, because the why we talk about on our show, man, we talk about the why. And my why is my wife and my family name. My dad is 6th grade education, man, but president of companies all over the country. I'm a blessed young man, dude. This story could really take a nasty turn. My friends will tell you, I could have been that lazy dude who did nothing, who just depended on his parents and things like that. But my pop wasn't playing that, brother. He did it. I used to hear it all the time. Hey, I'm rich, you're not. Know it. Understand it. Never forget it. If you want mine, you better grind. That's just how it was, man. So
love it.
I am allergic to things that don't help me advance my family. My little bitty wife, man, I love her more than anything, dude. And I would do anything for her. So I have to make sure that any and everything that she wants, she can have. And I'm blessed enough to have a wife that's humble, that don't really want that much, which makes me want to give her even more. So any wasted time is time that I feel I let her down. And me personally, that will never happen. It cannot happen. That will gut me. That's the one thing that I have. That's my non-negotiable. My non-negotiable is not being able to fulfill my family's wants, hopes, and needs. That is the thing that drives me to go to work. That's the thing that drives me to listen and find people and start a podcast and bring car people on and try to get these people educated and try to make the finance community. Because in my opinion, I've been at Landau for 15 years. I haven't spun a deal in 10 years, maybe 9 years. I still have customers come back that say, hey, you sold me my last car. What that tells you is I took the time to build a relationship with that customer. I was the last person that they had a transaction with, and I'm the one that made the most impact on them. Thus, they remember me and not their salesperson.
Love it.
So I took it personal. I wanted to make sure that every single customer and I had a personal relationship. They understood me. I understand them. I'm like, here, I used to turn my screen around, bro. I'm full disclosure. Here, look, let's go over it. Let's look at it just like, and I'm going to go over every line. Once you earn the respect and the trust of the person in front of you, they will listen to you.
Amen.
And it's up to you to put the right words in the right order at the right time through your training, through your practicing, through all the things that you've learned in the time you've been doing finance, to present them with something that makes sense, that's going to help them protect their investment, because at the end of the day, it is an investment. That's what it is. And they listen to you. People will listen to you if they believe you.
Yes.
That's the biggest weapon that I can tell you guys, man. Build a relationship with the person on the other side of the desk from you. Think about all the times you spent money. Anytime that you spent money, you've loved doing it with someone that made you feel good, that you believe, and that you can trust. What do you think?
Well, like and trust is everything. I mean, here, I can't agree more with what you just said. People buy from people, and people buy from people that they like and trust. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason that we train all of our stores across the country. We understand that our Mercedes stores up in Minnesota might be a little different than our Chevrolet stores in the middle of Illinois. Right? Customer clientele is a little bit different. The demographic, geographical location. There's a lot of things that are different, but there's a lot of things that are the same. And the things that are the same are these are people. People are buying from people. Mm-hmm. And so if we can get involved early in the transaction, mm-hmm. and I have my F&I teams up on that showroom floor, if they're not in the office with a guest facilitating a transaction, or if we're not working on our CIT schedule, which you should have done first thing in the morning, it should be clean anyway. So we shouldn't be spending a whole lot of time on CIT. And if we are, that's another conversation we should have. Right. But we want our F&I team just simply soft touching before the customer ever agrees to transact. It's a simple flying TO. How you doing? I'm Adam and you are? Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you, Dave. I just wanted to come out and quickly introduce myself. I'm one of the finance managers here. In the event that you purchase from us here at Landau, I'm the one that's going to take care of all the legal paperwork. Now, I found, Mr. Moore, that some customers have some questions along the way, and I'm here to answer those questions. My office is right over there. I have an open door policy. If there's anything that you need at all, come get me, okay? Can I get you something to drink while you're waiting for your sales associate? Right. Boom. So now, like, let's pretend now. Let's move down the road 40 minutes or 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. Now, Dave, you've driven the new Chevy. You love it. You're buying a new Chevy Silverado truck. You freaking love it. You're getting ready for figures. Or no, let's assume you bought it. Deal's done. Mm-hmm. You've signed the paperwork. Your salesperson hands me the deal. Now I get to come out and see you again. Hey, Dave, it's me again. I was hoping I'd get to see you. Do you mind if I have a seat with you real quick? So now the first impression's done and conquered, and that's the hardest part of any sales transaction is just getting that first impression out of the way. Let's establish somewhat like and somewhat trust. You're not going to get a ton of it, but you're going to get an ounce of it. You're going to get a little bit of like and trust. And now I'm congratulating you on your purchase. I'm excited to see you again. So that now I'm automatically going to make you excited because I'm emoting. You're going to emote. And I'm going to ask myself to have a seat with you. And we're going to have some casual conversation. I'm not going to sit here and go, how many miles you drive a year? How long are you going to keep it? Where do you park it? What's your insurance deductible? I'm not going to do any of that. You know, earlier we didn't get a chance to chat. I was just kind of quickly introducing myself. What brought you out here today? What motivated you to come to Londoff today? What was the reason, right? And so now I'm just going to get some like and some trust. And then when I present my products that are incredible, okay, when I present my products that are truly solutions is what they are, now I can have a casual conversation. If you say, Adam, I'm good. I've never, I bought a warranty in the past that never really covered anything. Hey, no problem, Dave. Hey, listen, I know exactly how you feel because I felt the same way years ago. I bought a warranty. It seems like conveniently every time I showed up, nothing was ever covered. But let me share something with you. The warranties today are a lot different than they were yesterday. I want to show you something real quick. I can have a conversation with you because I didn't skip steps along the way. I got involved early. I showed that I really cared. I asked the right questions. Questions are answers. If F&I people are watching this, I'll tell you, asking questions will bring more answers. You will close more deals asking the right questions. Hey, Dave, what was it about that service contract that you had a bad experience? Could you elaborate on that? Really, what happened? No kidding. Or framing, you got a cash transaction. We're afraid sometimes you just ask customers, what are your thoughts, Mr. and Mrs. Customer? You told me earlier you're going to keep this car for about 10 years. A decade's a long time. This comes with a standard 3-year 36 from the manufacturer. What are your thoughts? If I had the ability to enhance this 3-year 36 to 10 years and 150,000 miles on the odometer, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts if I were able to do that, right? Just asking questions brings so many answers that allow us to help customers at a higher level. I could talk all day and go through so many scenarios, Dave. I apologize. Reel this back in. Let me close the loop on the rant. People buy from people. How you're dressed matters. Your tonality matters. Your eye contact matters. There's all these things that matter. Showing up with a wrinkled polo with your company shirt's great. I'm glad you wore your company polo, but it's wrinkled, right? These things matter. And so I challenge F&I people. I'm going to say this is what I believe. And I believe car dealers are the most entrepreneurial humans on the planet.
Okay.
Us car guys, we figure it out. We always find a way. And I'm very proud of that. And what I do know is for an F&I manager that wants to be an F&I professional and work on your craft, like you were talking about, Dave, earlier, if you commit to your craft on a daily basis, you can do great things in the world. You can be a high-level entrepreneur. You can go out and do things in this world. If you can become a high-level F&I professional, because you're managing all these different areas, you're managing money. There's an accounting measure in place. There's people. There's management. You got to have structure and organization. You got to work with lending institutions. There's so many things that you got to do. So if you could master F&I, there's nothing you can't do in this world. There's nothing you can't do. I love F&I managers. I'm a recovering F&I manager. I'm in recovery, but what the good news is I get to travel the country and help F&I professionals become better versions of themselves.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. Finance guys, listen to what he says. Because it's going to be something that watch, because the same people that watch are the same people that's going to call and ask later on. And I'm going to say, did you watch? Did you listen? Did you pay attention? We talk about identifying people from the way they sit to the way they hold their hands, to the way they even hold a pen or a pencil, the way they present themselves to you. All these things are markers, and you got to pay attention to those markers because they will tell you how to communicate with that customer. So you have to pay attention. Like you said, if your polo's wrinkled, if you come to work with a bad attitude, if you were mad earlier in the day because something at home happened, by the time you get to work, gone. Anything we do when you're talking about people's money, and take this very seriously when you hear me say this, when you're talking about people's money, take it seriously. How would you want someone to approach you if it was your money? You would want them to be gentle, loving, caring, sharing, be wonderful, present you with information that can help you make a decision.
Amen.
Those are the things that you finance guys, and here, I can't help it. I'm a finance guy through and through. My title may say something, but I still submit deals because I'm the type of person who, if we're going to war, my mentality is I'm on the front line. I'm on the front line. I'm not going to be in the middle. I'm not going to be back there saying, hey, go out there and do this. I'm on the front line with you. Like, let's go. Now, that may be both good and bad, but that's the type of attitude I have. If we're in this together, we're in this together. But finance professionals, please understand, take the time to, one, get involved early. Mr. Rondolph, I'm a blessed dude, man, because I got to learn from him. And the one thing that he told me that still stands true today, like you mentioned earlier, get involved early.
Yeah.
Early. I mean, before, hi, how you doing? My name is such and such. Welcome to Landau Chevrolet. So, here's your salesperson. I'm going to go and interrupt you and be like, how you doing? I'm probably going to be doing your paperwork. My name is Dave. I'm 6'5". I'm a tall dude. I'm a big guy. So if I come and approach you, you're going to remember that. I know that the first impression, you only get one time to make it. So I'm going to take that one time and I'm going to make sure that first impression, you remember me.
Amen.
Even when I sold cars, I used to say, man, remember, you get more when you get more. That was my little tagline. You get more when you get more. And I'll give y'all one more piece of game. I had, some people call it an evidence manual. I used to take pictures with all my customers. I used to put them in a book. Strategy. Now they ain't going to charge you for it. Strategy. I used to put all the pictures in a book, and for exactly 7 minutes, because the guy that told me this said 7 minutes, I said, you know what? I'm going to run downstairs. I'm going to grab something from the sales manager. I'll be right back. But these are some of the customers that I've done business with. Check this out. And I would get up and leave the office. I guarantee you in St. Louis, they know somebody, or somebody went to their church. And soon as they flip through that book, the very moment that they see someone they know, I just gain credibility.
Yes.
And also when you come back, they're going to have it on their page and say, hey, you know such and such.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. And if you really know them, call them. Let's get them involved. Let's have a memorable experience. Where are you going to go buy a car where you find out somebody you know bought a car? Not only did you find out somebody you know bought a car, but we have a relationship with them and we can call them and say hi and chop it up. All of these things are building credibility, making it easier for you to talk to that customer. Yeah. These are the little bitty things that we have to do in order to make people see that, one, I have your best interest at heart. Two, I actually do care about this transaction and you. And three, I want to sell a car not just to you, but to everybody in your family, everybody you know, and everybody that you can touch. Yeah. And the best way to do that is by having a rock star experience. Think about all the restaurants you went to, dude. If you had a waiter that is like, I mean, when you leave, what's the first thing you do? Hey, man, I went to this place. Hey, this waitress right here or this waiter right here, man, you got to go ask for them. They are awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing, man.
Well, I'll tell you, my spot, people that know me and Dave, I'm sure you follow me online, but I go to Tony's and Alton. That's my spot. It's St. Louis Metro, come over to Alton. I mean, we got some good food over there. But Chad is our go-to, and Chad worked in the restaurant scene in Chicago, a lot of high-end places. And he treats Tony's, which it's high-end over here, but he treats it like we're in downtown Chicago. Everything's perfection. Everything he does, from how he places the silverware and brings and pours the wine and the conversation. And so we know, like, I am a raving fan. Go see Chad. Go see Chad. Go see Chad.
Right.
It's an experience.
That's right.
And one thing too, I want to piggyback on a couple of things too that are important. And this is really important for F&I people. That's why I have to get this. I have to get this off when a thought comes in, I gotta because my ADD is real.
Yeah.
So, okay, you never know what's going on behind the eyeballs of somebody, right? You just don't know what somebody is going through.
Mm-hmm.
And so when somebody shows up to your address to potentially look at a new form of transportation, something happened in their life, in their transportation needs, wants, or desires that led them to your address. But there's also life too. You never know if that person got a bad report from the doctor, lost a loved one, financially struggling. There's so many different factors involved. And a lot of times F&I people, we put ourselves first, we skip steps, and we just want to get to the customer and start spraying and praying that they pick a product or a box.
Mm-hmm. That
is the worst thing you can do for them. It's the worst thing you could do for yourself, and it's the worst thing you could do for your dealership. I believe in the golden rule. I'm a religious man. I love the Lord. I believe in the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. It's biblical. It's a solid piece of advice. In sales, I do not like that one bit.
Right.
I believe in the platinum rule. Mm-hmm. Treat others the way they want to be treated, not the way you want to be treated.
Correct.
There's a lot of different factors that persuade people to make decisions. And like you talked about with your evidence manual, that is a form of social proof. When somebody rolls through and sees, oh my God, I know Tommy. Mm-hmm. Well, you look up to Tommy, there's another that's proof that this person trusted you. So now I should trust you, right? So that's a brilliant idea, Mr. Moore. I think everybody should do that. That is a brilliant idea to have that catalog of all your customers right there. But my best advice for F&I managers that want to become F&I professionals mm-hmm. is to try to identify the personality type of the individual that you're transacting with. So we can then mirror our tonality, body language, mm-hmm. sales presentations to the individual in front of you and not to the broad masses, because you'll be shooting like blindfolded, right? Mm-hmm. It's good to dial into the person that's in front of you, identify who they really are and present to them in that manner. And you're going to have less friction, higher conversion, and less chargebacks. I had to get that off my chest.
There you go. But it is imperative to what he said, man, identifying the type of customer you have. And on another show, we'll dig into that a little bit, because there's all different type of personality types that you have to identify. And then you go into how I'm supposed to handle that kind of customer. But you have to identify the type of customer that you have. But the only way you can do that is by knowing how to identify. So to know how to identify, that's when the work outside of work comes in. See, some people think that I'm a finance guy, I'm a finance manager. I'm not going to say professional yet, because when you become a finance professional, all these things are systematic. But once you talk to people, or once you get to a finance person, man, they're kind of like, my day starts when I get to work. My day starts as soon as I make my first phone call. What are you doing outside the job to make yourself better? This is why professional athletes, sometimes they excel in the car business, because they understand already that in order for them to get to the highest level, they had to practice. Once you understand that you have to practice outside of the game, which we knew when we were in high school, we knew when we were in grade school, because we spent time practicing. And then game time came, and then you played. But it's funny how we get older, or we get set in our ways, and we forget the practice part. And I'm going to be 100 with you. I know you fellas. I know you don't practice outside of work. I know you don't. And the way that I know you don't is based on the questions that you ask me. That's how I know you don't. How are you going to get better at your craft if you don't take 15 to 30 minutes a day to practice your craft? Surround yourself with people who want to get better. And that's the one thing that I had to do, man. It took me from here to here. I had to surround myself with people that wanted to get better. 100 years ago, I was sitting in my office and I came across a guy. You know him. His name is Glenn Lundy. And he had a show called Rise and Grind. It was at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was just listening, man, and listening because at that moment in time, I'm like, dude, I do well. I think I got this figured out. Everything is good, blase, blase, blah. And then you realize that you can get better. Like, you're not at the top. You can get better. But in order to get better, you got to sacrifice. And my mom used to tell me all the time, man, God bless her soul, dude, you got to bleed to bless, son. I used to hear that all the time. You have to bleed to bless. What that means is you got to put the work in if you want results. It's more than just going to work and showing up, bro. It's more to it than that. And once you learn that, I play tennis. Do you think I'd be a good tennis player if I just show up on game day? No. I have to practice during the week because I don't want to get embarrassed when it's time to play. So it's the same thing with the car business, especially finance, because you are the heartbeat. You're very important to the dealership. No matter what anybody tells you, you are the professional that's going to protect the dealership, protect the customer, and make you an income that you can provide for you and your family. Those are the things that you're going to do. Those are the things that are very important. But in order for you to be the best version of yourself, you got to practice. I saw you recently invest in yourself by going somewhere, being around people, thought leaders, all these sorts of people, and you invest in yourself to be a better version, not just for you, but for the people around you as well.
Amen. Yeah.
So what do you think, man? When is a good time for a F&I professional to invest in themselves? And yeah, that means that you're going to have to do it outside the office. Yeah, that means you're going to have to miss a day and maybe miss some income to make more income. When do you think they should get started with that?
Well, okay, there's two sides of this. First, I want to say that there's different levels. There's so many different levels. There's levels above you. There's levels below you. And first of all, we got to have desire. Like, some people are okay floating around. Some people are okay floating around being casual. That's okay. It's not for me, Dave. It's not for you. I know that. So the first thing, it starts with that decision, that burning desire that says, you know what, I'm going to take this as far as I can go. I am going to have this indestructible confidence that nothing will stop me and I will continue to climb. But I'm also going to reach my hand out and grab the younger generation and bring them with me. That's the mindset we have to possess first and foremost. So when should we invest in personal development? Yesterday. So for somebody that's not, we have to get out of our own way, okay? And we have time. And I'm just going to go back in time. So I was a very high-powered F&I manager in St. Louis. I made $500,000 for 15 years in this market. I share my story. It's written. It's not boastful. I can care less about the money. It was just the number that I was able to hit. Right. I was able to run at a very high level for a very long time, but I was unfulfilled at the end. And my unfulfillment came from not being able to help the masses. So what did I do? I went out and helped the masses. But I wasn't able to go out and help the masses without a couple key ingredients. And those key ingredients were A, mindset, belief in self. B, first, actually, faith, number one. B, mindset, belief in self. And number 3, action. So every single day you wake up, you don't wing it. You wake up, you got your gratitude. I used to journal gratitude. Now I close my eyes and I speak gratitude. But what are a handful of things that we're grateful for? And what I try to do is I'll meditate on this and be like, okay, I'm grateful for this because. So I really meditate into that. Sometimes I don't want everybody to get a visual. Sometimes it's in the shower when I wake up. I kind of think about these things that I have and the abundance that's out there. And I have this gratitude. And then I have a dialed in schedule. Like, you got to get into your schedule for the day and you got to make sure you've got your organized. And then there's time. You know, we all have cars. Most of us have cars. Well, I don't care if it's a 10-minute commute, a 20-minute commute. I know there were times when I worked for the Amazing Sun Trip organization, I would drive an hour one way. Well, guess what? My car, I got a couple of options. You know, I can listen to Tupac, who I love. Or I could freaking listen to an Audible book. I could listen to a book, and I can turn my vehicle into a university on wheels. Okay. The 5 a.m. Club, one of the best books ever by Robin Sharma.
Yes.
So you can turn your vehicle into a university.
Yeah.
That's a decision we can make, right?
Yeah.
And if we were in sales and we're not reading sales, psychology, servant leadership type of books, if you're in sales, I'm going to give you 2 plugs real quick. Okay. First, the most important book you'll ever read in sales is Influence by Dr. Robert Cialdini. Okay. Dr. Robert Cialdini, the book Influence. He also wrote a book called Persuasion, but the book of Influence will teach you anything and everything you need to know about humans and how to present to different personalities. Okay. You understand buying motives from people. What makes people say yes? What makes people say no? The second book, everyone, it's by Will Garda. It's called Unreasonable Hospitality. And one of my favorite quotes in this book is, hey, service is the thing that we do, but hospitality is the way we make people feel when we're doing the thing that we do. It's about making people feel a certain way, right? So those are 2 books. If you're an F&I, order them. And guess what? Unreasonable Hospitality is a much quicker read than Influence. Influence, it's like a dang near 600-page book. But you know what? 10 pages a day. 10 pages a day.
Yeah.
10 pages a day.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get through that bad boy. Or if you're like me, I like to read, but I like to Audible. I like to listen to the audiobook.
Yeah.
When I'm working out, I work out almost every day, especially when I'm in town. I like to lift weights before I do jiu-jitsu. I'm not rocking out to freaking hardcore workout music. I'm listening to an audiobook. I'm feeling this. Okay. So let me close my loop because I can rant on this for hours. So the best thing for an F&I professional to do is have a plan every single day, have short-term goals for themselves. Like here, I want to touch this many transactions today. I want to put this much gross on the books today. And I want a minimum 75% VSC penetration out of myself today. Period. Amen. 3 out of 4 customers are buying a service contract. And if they didn't, I got to reevaluate why. And we're going to figure this out and troubleshoot. We got those goals. I'm going to pour into 2 salespeople today. I'm going to spend 20 minutes on product knowledge. I don't know why we think we know everything about our products, but we don't. And I know this to be fact. I know you. So I've sat in your office. I've sat in front of you. I know you're a killer. I know you're incredible at what you do. Okay. I see thousands and thousands of individuals in this space from California to New York, all over the place. Okay. Believe this or not, Mr. Moore, F&I people skip steps. F&I on cash deals an hour before close, a lease transaction that's a buy, sell money factor. For whatever reason, F&I people skip steps. And if we make a decision to not skip steps, we will sell more and we'll make customers happier. But here's another thing that is just unreal. Not all F&I professionals, no, we'll call them managers. Not all F&I managers understand what the products that they're offering. They don't understand the technical details of the service contracts and the bundles that they're selling, the aggregate limits and all they don't know their product offering. I don't understand it. A lot of people do. I know your guys are trained up, Dave, but I will tell you, I know most of our guys are trained up, but I'm talking broad speaking here. You talk to 100 F&I people, random sample, and you gave them a quiz on their product offering, they wouldn't all pass. So with that being said, it starts with a commitment. You got to commit to yourself that you want to be a better version. You got to start right now. And it's just little things. Are you sweating every single day? Are you getting your workout in? You got to take care of your physical just like your mental, right? So there's so many things we can do as F&I professionals. And for those that commit to it, end up in seats that you're in, Dave. They end up doing what you're doing, Dave, right? They get to do what I do, which is I pinch myself because I don't even know how I got here sometimes. I'm just a car salesman. When I was in Costa Rica a month ago and had a handful of people like, what do you do for a living? I sell cars.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into, I own this business and this. I don't want to go in. I sell cars. Because without me being an 18-year-old car salesman, I wouldn't be here today. I sell cars. I'm proud of it.
See, and to you all that don't get it, I'm gonna dumb it down for you. Don't be soft. Just stop. Don't be soft. If you can get the wobble knees with one question from your customer about a product, shame on you. If somebody can ask you a gap question and you don't know, shame on you. If you can't break down a warranty to explain to the customer why it's beneficial for them and they ask you one question and you get the wobble knees, Last thing I tell every customer before they left my office, brother, is I'm going to make sure that you are as comfortable with all the paperwork, all the terminology as I am. So when something happens, you know exactly what to do. Because now I'm becoming an F&I professional. I go from selling to helping you, to educate you, to help you understand how to use the product that you're buying, why it's beneficial for you, how it can help you. But man, we, like you said, we can go on that for days, dude. I love the finance industry, man. I love building relationships with lenders. My strength. I love that. No, that's the one thing that I can take, man, building relationships in the car business, especially with lenders, because it's cool to sell things. It's cool to have high PVRs, but if you can't get a deal done, that's the beginning.
Yeah.
So you got to know how to do that. And especially in today's climate, because it's a little different. Our industry updates almost hourly now. Almost hourly. I remember when we had the old NADA books, remember they were monthly? And now they're weekly. So all of these things are changing in the car business. And the one thing that I wanted to make sure, and that's why I brought Adam on, man, is I want you all to understand that you have to change too. You cannot be set in your ways and say, man, this has worked for me for 100 years. The business is changing every single day. For the love of God, it changes every hour almost. So you have to update your information. If not, you're spewing old information. And that's how you get caught, man. You get caught with your pants down doing that. But, I ain't going to keep you on here too long, brother. I know you got stuff to do and we got to run. But I don't want people to be stagnant. I don't want you to go to work and just say, hey, you know what? I'm here. Let me knock this day off. What time do I leave? The people that lined off, the thing you'll hear about us is we look at the clock and we say, damn, we're running out of time. We're running out. The day it's almost over. Oh my goodness. What? You run out of time when you're busy. There should not be a time that you're not busy, because if it is, you should be trading. Amen. You should be working. Like you said, you should go to your service department and say, hey, man, what you doing? Build these relationships and things like that. And the reason I'm saying that stuff is because even myself, I say things that I need to work on as well, because nobody's perfect. And I plan on growing every single day. My job, and Mr. Londoff will tell you, the boys will tell you, my job is to be better today than I was yesterday. And if you were a monster yesterday, you're going to have to evolve into something better than a monster today. Mm-hmm. And just keep going and going and going. So the car business is the greatest business in the world to me. It's allowed me to, reach things that I didn't think that were possible. It's allowed me to make relationships and build relationships with people that you wouldn't even necessarily think you'd meet. You have interesting conversations with people, and it also allows you to create a circle that's very impactful. And you do have to know, and I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes people got to get out your circle. Sometimes they do. And they can call it what they want. They can say you're arrogant. They can say this and that. But when you want to evolve, my brothers, I'm the youngest baby. I'm the baby of 5. I got 2 older brothers. And they always tell me, look, bro, make sure you're the weakest link in the chain, because you're not such a weak link. Based on my personality, if I am the weakest link, it'll be for about 15 minutes because I'm going to work my tail end off to make sure I'm not that weak link for that long. All right, man, I ain't got too much left. Close it out. Give the people some pearls, man. What you got?
Yeah, I'll say this, it boils down to, I end almost every conversation I have in this setting with this is we have to make a decision on what it is that we truly desire out of our life. What does that perfect life look like? You know, a lot of us, we get into the car business and we work and we work and we work, but we don't really know what we're working for. Right. Everything we're doing right now, I read this book, The Second Mountain. Danelle Delgado actually recommended that I read this, is so I can have more vision of what is my future? What does the life look like after my career, right? So we're on our first mount right now, building and growing and building, but we need to kind of identify what does that perfect life look like, because then that'll allow us to work harder to get to that perfect life. So we have to make a decision what it is that we truly want and desire. Then we need to sit down and analyze and put a plan of action in place that will increase the odds of getting those said things that we desire. And then what we need to do is take radical, crazy, Grant Cardone size 10x massive action. And then I'm going to piggyback off and what you just said. And here's the most important thing after we decide to take crazy, radical, massive action is you got to roll with elite people that are already doing the things that you want to do. Talking about being the weak link, you should strive to be the least talented person at the table. I was just in West Palm Beach. A lot of people, I travel weekly. I'm on an airplane every freaking week. Okay. I go everywhere. I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, how was your vacation? And my girlfriend, Sylvia, love her. She's like, hey, how was your trip? Well, I mean, it was kinda. There was some, I mean, it kind of looked cool at night at dinner. And, you know, we were on the beach. We went surfing as a team, right? But we were on the boat working in a circle, grinding, tough questions in a boardroom from 8 a.m. till 7:30 p.m., breaking down the nuances of our business. I'm at a table of 16 people, and I truly believe I was one of the least talented individuals at that table. And I'm studying people. I'm listening with clarity, just watching how they carry themselves and asking questions and breakouts. So surround yourself with people doing great things, and you will also do great things. If you roll around with people doing average things, you will continue to be average. Average always yields average, and you were never meant to be average. So, David, I'm glad you just said what you said. Identify your circle, adjust accordingly, because your circle will keep you from the good stuff, or it will get you to the good stuff quicker. All right, that's my rant.
My man. Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna have you on again if you will.
Anytime. Bro, you're my boy.
Together we can change this thing, man, to change the dynamic of what the car business is. We can make people better at their craft, which at the end of the day, the better we get at our craft, the better it is for everybody. Because you got to remember, man, the customers are what make us go. And the happier the customers are, the more they feel like they're a part of it, the more they buy, the more they tell their friends, the more referrals you get.
Yes.
For the love of God, I just had a lady bring me a fruit salad yesterday from work. I posted it on Facebook. It was amazing. Why? Because we took the time to build a relationship. And not only does it come with a fruit salad, but it comes with a referral. Amen. So take the time to master your craft. That's the one thing I can tell you. Take time to master your craft. If you're not practicing, I suggest you practice. If you think you're already good enough, this is not for you. There's something for you, but it's not this way. This way is for people who want to be progressive, who don't mind putting in sweat equity, and who understand that we learn and get better every single day. But besides that, man, I ain't got too much else. We're going to get out of here. I appreciate you coming on. Hey, y'all, Adam dropped some knowledge, dude. He dropped some knowledge. Y'all better pay attention to it, too. If you want to get better at your craft, he done gave you a few things. I done gave you a few things. Use these things. Make sure that if you got a table, the people at your table are who you want at your table, not the other way around. Y'all have a great day. My brother, I appreciate you. Have the most successful day ever.
Thank you.
Peace.